Mm-hmm. Yes, come on, because you're on the conference call. So how can I score now? Because you're on the conference call.
Good day, everyone. Today is June 23rd, 2013. My name is Steve Buffalo, the second, your moderator, and this is Liberia Destiny Debaters that are the place for favored public political discourses in its totality. Freedom of threats and personal attacks. The Honorable guest just left the line. I guess he has to reload his phone. Honorable Gray just left the line, so we have to wait until he comes back before I do the introductory again. Just a minute. Yeah, please bear with us. I think he just hit the line, so we have to go back and do the introductory again, please. So I'm going to keep everyone off mute until he comes back. So again, the Honorable has to put more minutes on his phone, so let's just wait for him. Okay. Honorable Gray, are you still with us? Okay. Honorable Gray? No, he's not with us yet. Please tell us the Honorable accept the last few minutes. I guess we want to reload for a moment on his phone. Now you're now killed. So let's see what's happening here. Lines are open right now until the Honorable comes back on. So I'm going to take the recording. So here's it.
Hello.
Good day, everyone. Today is June 23rd, 2013. My name is Steve Buffalo, the second, your moderator, and this is Liberia Destiny Debaters that are the place for stable public political discourses in its totality, freedom of threats and personal attacks. Our guest is Honorable Acarous M. Gray, CDC, Montserrado County, District Number 8 in the Lower House of Representatives. Honorable Gray, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much, and I do highly appreciate this all-important program, and let me again commend you for the civility that this program has had for quite a very long time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Acarous M. Gray. Honorable Gray, could you want to tell us more about yourself, education-wise, and before we go to the line for questions?
I'm not getting you well.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's up from our system here. I was just asking if you could tell us more about yourself educationally, and we know your position already, but Are you there?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Honorable Gray. Yes, we are here. We can hear you.
Okay, you say what should I do?
You want to tell us a little more about yourself, your background a little bit?
Basically, yes, my name is Acarous Moses Gray, and I represent the people of District Number 8, Montserrado County, which happens to be the heartbeat in terms of political decision making of the Republic of Liberia. When I say the heartbeat, because the three branches of government in my electoral district, besides that, we have about 4 to 5 universities. And I graduated from the University of Liberia, went to 4 schools in my electoral district. So I think, and I have a daughter, in fact, a very beautiful girl. So that much I can say about myself, and definitely the former Secretary General of the Congress of Democratic Change.
Thank you, Honorable Acarous Moses Gray, CDC Montserrado County, District Number 8. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into Liberia Destiny Debaters. With us tonight is the Honorable Acarous Gray. We are discussing an anti-nepotistic bill, reconciliation process. The next bill that he's working is the National Maternity Children Hospital. So, Honorable Gray, we're going to take our first question. Our first caller will be caller 7786. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Dr. Bartum N. Kula, calling from Atlanta, Georgia. My question to Honorable Gray, followed by comments, is what do you guys plan on doing in terms of the level of civil liberties that we enjoy in Liberia presently? Do you guys plan on stifling that or continuing that? And the reason I ask that is because your party, led by your chairman, George Solo, along with Isaac Tupa, have led a concerted effort of character assassination on my person because I'm a staunch critic of yours on TMZ. In fact, Mulba Mwalu told me that if I were to come to Liberia, the masses will deal with me. Secondly, Mulba Mwalu indicated to me that I like to insult CDC, but I would get my reward either natural or supernaturally. As we speak, there's an effort by a gentleman by the name of Gibson Giroux that has my picture plastered all over his Daily Palava Hut, DL and KTH and so on and so forth, leading a character assassination as a means of shutting me up. Let me make it very clear to you, Acarous Gray, to Mulba Mwalu, to Isaac Vatuba, and George Solo. In fact, his email address is georgesolo4@gmail.com. How do I know that? Because someone sent me a copy of something negative that's flying around the internet that he sent them to post. And the person refused because the person was asking for his credentials, not to assassinate my character. I understand someone called me from Liberia today that he's very upset that I was one of those that was very critical about his 5-day certificate at Harvard that he's calling a Harvard graduation. So I can tell you right now, there's not a hair on my hair that you guys can touch. And I will continue to criticize you guys from the ends of the earth. And in fact, you have given me more resolve that I'm willing to take the humiliation to ensure that you never, ever take state power in Liberia. Thank you.
That was just a comment. So, Honorable Gray, it's not...
There was a question. There was a question.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Civil liberties. The question, the initial question was civil liberties.
Okay, let's give the time to Honorable Gray to comment on your statement, please. Go ahead, Honorable Gray.
Thank you very much. Let me encourage you that the Congress of Democratic Change, though this is not the subject matter under discussion. And basically, if you see the topic under discussion, it speaks to the issue of two bills that I have submitted, and on the issue of reconciliation. But for the fact that you raised this issue, I think I have to respond to it. The CDC, under no condition, I will go after people who will criticize the Congress of Democratic Change. Criticism is an embodiment of the exchange of ideas. And I'm one person who believes and very convicted that when people criticize you, in fact, you tend to take corrective measure. And so the issue of civil liberty, I can guarantee you that the Congress of Democratic Change, as former Secretary General of the CDC, is something that will protect the intellectual depth, no matter what criticism the CDC comes under. So, but the way you spoke, as if to say, I have been one of those who have, quote unquote, assassinate their character. I have not been in such a business, and I don't know your impression. And I mean, you can write what you want to write. I encourage you to write what you want to write, and as a statesman, and at the same time being a politician, you are protected under the laws of the Republic of Liberia. And I make no mistake, nobody go about just hunting people in Liberia because you criticize the Congress of Democratic Change. So many persons have criticized the CDC. They've criticized us. And if you go to your discussion Liberia, or your TMZ, or what you may call them, I have come under calorific intellectual attack, but I have never threatened a single individual. So the CDC position remains unbending and unwavering on protecting the civil liberty of each and every individual. So to entire individual actions to the Congress of Democratic Change is unfortunate. So I will encourage you to criticize the chairman of the CDC, to criticize Mr. Montserrado. Those are the leaders of the party. You have the right to criticize them and question their ability to govern the Congress of Democratic Change. And their responsibility is to respond in a civil and organized manner. So I make no mistake, nobody going after you and nobody is going to harm you. We do not control the bazookas or the weapons of the Republic of Liberia to go after people. So let us not go that route. Write what you want to write and do what you want to do in the confines of the law.
Thank you, Honorable Acarous Moses Gray, CDC, Montserrado County, District Number 8. Honorable Gray, we're going to take the next one. The next one is going to come from caller 2582. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hi, my name is Solo Ricks. I used to live in the Bannerville area, and I knew this Honorable Mr. Acarous Gray. I mean, it goes back to somewhere around the 90s. He used to visit my friend somewhere in the Eastern all day. He used to argue politics. He was this political waste. You know, he talked about the interim government. He talked about child status. He had all the solutions. But Mr. Gray, right now you are in a power. You're in a position to make decisions. You got the power, provided you use it positively, but not negatively. So, what are you doing after all those years criticizing Dr. Sawyer, criticizing Charles Twitter, and now you are in that position? What are you doing differently to make sure that Liberia is Liberia?
Let me commend you, and I also would love to make some corrections. When Dr. Sawyer was interim leader of the Republic of Liberia, I was not involved into national politics. I was still a high school student, and let's get that right. Yes, I criticized former President Charles Taylor. Even if you witness the rise and fall of Mr. Taylor, I'm there criticizing Mr. Taylor on that videotape. And what I am doing, let me state categorically, my cardinal responsibility is to make laws. In 1 year, a few months' time, I have sponsored 4 cardinal bills, and two of those bills are constitutional. What do I mean by that when I say constitutional? The Constitutional Republic of Liberia provides for the legislative branch of government establishing a code of conduct for public officials. In this 53rd legislature, I'm the chief sponsor of the Code of Conduct bill. In fact, that was the first bill that I sponsored. I'm not a crafter of the bill, don't get me wrong, but I reintroduced that bill as the chief sponsor of the Code of Conduct bill during the course of last year, and it still remains a debate. Another bill that I serve as the chief sponsor for, that I also sponsor, is what we call the DSA, that is the Democracy Sustainability Act. In Liberia, it's wrongfully called political party support bill. Also, during the course of this year, I've sponsored a bill, and I'm the crafter of this bill, called an act prohibiting nepotism. The Constitution of Liberia also calls for either an executive order to be issued by the President of the Republic of Liberia to curtail nepotism in government, or for a legislation to be passed. The Constitution provides for that. And that bill has been submitted. And the fourth bill that I recently submitted is entitled a bill to create Liberia's Maternity and Children Hospital Bill. So those are four cardinal bills that I have supported. And I believe since 1986, when the Constitution came into force, no lawmaker has submitted a bill to help to prohibit nepotism. It's a constitutional requirement. And besides that, outside of lawmaking, my oversight responsibility is over the governance committee, the governance commission. I'm the chairman of the governance committee. The governance commission, as you're aware, is being chaired by Dr. Montserrado, and they've been working on series of reform bills in Liberia, and decentralized in our country, merging ministries or trying to dissolve other ministries and create new ones. Many of those bills are still with the governance committee and with the President of the Republic of Liberia. And one of those bills that I have declared personally as the mother of all bills in the political history of our country has to do with what I call the LGA, that is the Local Governance Act. The Local Governance Act is still being worked on with the Governance Commission to decentralize the governance process of the Republic of Liberia and to ensure that development goes down to the district and township level, where money generated will help the people, where leadership are being elected. So I think that one of the crises we had in Liberia is the crisis of political participation. Is also the crisis of the distribution of our wealth in the Republic of Liberia. So I believe that if this bill is submitted and subsequently passed, it will serve a long way to destroy the crisis of distribution, the crisis of political participation, and ensure that development goes down to the local authorities in our country. So I just serve as chairman on the governance committee, and as a result of that, only one agency of government is under my control, and that is the Governance Commission headed by Dr. Sawyer. On the issue of giving back to my people, if you go to my Facebook page, you will see many of the things that I've done, and among those things is that I fought along with the public works ministry today, the avenues in the single belt up to 12th Street. Those avenues are being rehabilitated by the public work. I must commend the public work ministry for that. And also the Assembly of Electricity. My first letter I submitted as a lawmaker to the plenary when I became a lawmaker. The first letter was to cite the LEC managing director to show cause why the people in Montserrado County, especially in my electoral district that I represent, we have historical streets in my district in Johnson Road, Capital Bypass, that is officially called Haile Selassie Avenue. Those are areas that are yet to be electrified, and other slum communities ghettos community, including Bassa community, Slavery, Crime, and the rest of the area. So there have been semblance of electricity on the basis of our own advocacy. And on the issue of education, I've provided over 200 student scholarships since I'm talking about full payment of tuition since I became lawmaker for the last 1 year and a half. Not only that, I've been making some donations to clinics in our areas, and so on. And you can go on and on and on. And now, as I speak to you, I'm rehabilitating a latrine and trying to construct a bridge in the pathway between 8th Street and that of 9th Street, and communities. I'm trying to now rehabilitate the 7th-day Adventist High School, 120 Ken Johnson Road, a basketball court, so that the community dwellers, especially the kids during Sunday, can go there and try to recreate. So there are many things we've been doing. In terms of scholarship. We've been doing a very splendid job. So we just can name all because basically the subject matter on the discussion, if you go to the subject matter, it has to do with this issue of the two bills and that of reconciliation. But I see that all the issues are being asked, and I hope we will stick to the subject matter.
Thank you, Honorable Acarous Moses Gray, CDC, Montserrado County District. Ladies and gentlemen, we are discussing anti-nepotistic bills, reconciliation, national maternity children hospital bills, sponsored by the Honorable Acarous Moses Gray. Please submit your question by dial *61, or in order to be a part of this program, dial *61 on your phone. Honorable, we're going to go back to the caller for him to make a recommendation, and then we'll take the next one. Caller, do you have a recommendation for the Honorable?
Yes, probably it might be a comment. So, well, Mr. Gray, to clarify, I was not saying that you were active during Dr. Sawyer's interim period. What I was referring to specifically was that you were in the Banos area at the time. You used to come there and meet with your man from area, Jangaba, whatever. And you were into this little community politics where when we gathered, you talk blah, 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 blah. That's what I was referring to. I wish you could remember.
Oh, definitely. I'm sorry if I misconstrued what you said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't mean that you're on the national scene, but right now you're on it. So at least, all those stuff you used to be talking, saying your own eyes, I wish you could do it right now because you're in the position to do it. And also, let me just go a little bit here. Mr. Montserrado, I beg you. But there was one time, I felt very disappointed seeing you in military fatigue and all of that. And I was like, this guy was not participating in the war. So now we have peace. Why is he wearing military fatigue? Would you like to comment on that?
Oh, definitely. I would love to comment on that. Like you rightfully said, I'm not a participant in the civil classes in terms of being an ex-combatant. My records are very, very much idiosyncratic as a signature, as one may say. And when you say military, let us be a little bit careful. And sometimes these are technical debate. In Liberia, if you say a military, a camouflage necessarily is not a military fatigue in our country. Why do I mean by that? You're in the United States of America. People wear camouflage in the United States of America. When you wear a camouflage, and at the end of the day, it has the insignias, or it has those symbols, like the Liberian flag, like the decoration militarily, then is described as a military. But in our country, there is no law that prevents people from wearing camouflage. There is no law. So as far as I'm concerned, I always live within the confines of the law, and I violated no law in the Republic of Liberia, or no law in terms of the Constitution, in terms of legislation. So I was in no error. And as far as I'm concerned, I was in no error. Except that you will correct me to say that I violated a law. As far as I'm concerned, I've been in the confines of the law. I'm a respecter of the law of the Republic of Liberia. I was arrested. I turned myself over voluntarily to state security apparatus. So I have never been in violation of the law, found guilty at any court in the Republic of Liberia. No, never. So I will remain in the confines of the law. So let me state to you, I highly appreciate your consent, but I hope that we will be able to stick to the subject matter, because we must understand why a national children and maternity hospital, what is the necessity, why should we pass a law to prevent nepotism in our country, why is it that there is a need to reconcile our people so Liberians can begin to see Liberians as one people moving forward in spite of our religious, political, ethnic indifferences that we may have. So, I mean, that's why I chose this opportunity to appear. But if the moderator will accept that it becomes general issues, I'm still prepared. I'm still prepared to discuss other issues. Whether it's personal, whether it's public, I'm very prepared to discuss those issues.
Thank you, Honorable Gray. Honorable Gray, you know that in a public forum, as long as we can try to direct our callers to the issues, but sometimes they will always go to where they want to go. So we apologize if they keep going outside the topics tonight. So we just wanted you to know that. Caller, we're going to have to skip you. We'll come back to you. We have a lot of people on the line, so please bear with us. Let's go to caller 8925. Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is David. I'm very happy again to be on the call and to be on the call all the time. One of my concerns that I have was the camouflage which Mr. Gray did answer, and he said he did not violate anything. I just want to make a comment before I ask the other question I have to ask. We just had a war in Liberia about 14 years ago, and when I was in Liberia at the time, when you see military fatigue, it put fears in the mind of the people. Because at the time you have soldiers controlling the country, so those are the things that put fear in the mind of the people. Because I personally, when I saw him with the camouflage uniform, I was like, oh no, and especially when the World War was stated after it, that was bad. But like you say, he has not violated anything. We will take that, you know. But like you said, one of my concerns that I have three concerns. One is education. I know we're not on that topic, but we're on a general topic. I want to ask Mr. Gray, why is it the Liberian educational system, the time of education, has been changed to that of European countries? Because if you look at the European countries, like right now schools are closed in the United States, in Europe, where they have winter time and summer time. This is why the people close school in June and open in September, so the children can go to school during the time of winter. During our day, school was closed in December and March. We went back to school, but it seems like we're following the white man on the way of life as to compare to our system, our geographical system, our climate. We're not going that route anymore. That's the question number one. Why did we change that? Number two, is it right for a lawmaker who's supposed to protect the law of the country to get out of his car and slap somebody or want to hit somebody? Is that right as a lawmaker? If that is so, why are we taking that route to act as a police officer instead of being lawmaker that protect the lives of other people? Last but not least, the bridges of Liberia, okay, the bridges of Liberia, especially I will go to the St. John's Bridge that connects Pastor that we pass to go to Monrovia. I think that bridge was built way before I was born. I don't know if the Ministry of Education has any maintenance plan for that bridge, that it will not go down like the two bridge did years ago. Do we have any plan as legislator in Liberia?
Carter, before we go to Honorable Gray, because we have a lot of people on the line.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not government spokesperson, and I will not pretend to be. Okay, I was paid to make laws, to have oversight, to advocate. So I'm not a spokesperson of government. You ask the issue of the time change in the educational system. I cannot definitively stick to you why it was changed. But what I think, in my opinion, I one who taught for 9 years, and tutor students for 9 years, and especially I was teaching the social sciences, though I taught other subjects, including mathematics, and the sciences, I decided the social sciences. But if you look at the rainfall period in Liberia, the peak of the rain actually in Liberia is between June to September. So, in my opinion, I may not be exact. In my opinion, this could be the case that schools are being closed between June to September. In my opinion, it could be. Okay, I may be wrong, so I think maybe the Ministry of Education could speak to that. On the issue of lawmaker slapping or hitting on a citizen of the Republic of Liberia, I cannot speak for Evan Mary Snow, James, Representative Snow, but all I can state to you is that we have laws in our country, and if anyone felt offended or assaulted by a lawmaker, you can seek a course of action at the court. Okay, nobody is bigger than the laws of our country. Let me just cite examples to you. And when the former deputy speaker of the Republic of Liberia were accused of aggravated assault on a police officer, one Lexington Blair, something like that, the deputy speaker was taken to court by the government of the Republic of Liberia. He was charged, and not only was he charged, but even all of his children are in the home. And though, he was now found guilty because the facts were there. Also, another sitting senator, Roland Camp, was allegedly said that he was involved into sending people into some area in between Bassa and Magidi, and a lot of kids got killed in the process. He stayed behind bar almost 6 months while the matter was being adjudicated. So there are precedent cases. So to say that a lawmaker hit on a civilian, I don't have the duties. I've read it. I've not spoken to Representative Snow, but I've read it on the internet. I've read it in newspapers in Liberia. So I cannot speak for Representative Snow, but all I can say is that nobody is above the law. On the issue of building bridges, I think it's a very critical issue that you raised, and my duty is to ask the Public Works Minister on that. I know there is a contract with the World Bank to rehabilitate many of our roads in our country, and so I don't know whether in the plan of action by the Ministry of Public Works, whether they have a plan of action to change that bridge. And so I also cannot speak to that. And I don't want to pretend to be the spokesperson of the government. So I hope you invite the Information Minister to answer these questions for the government of the Republic of Liberia. And I do not want to say here today that I'm the spokesperson for the government, or even I can speak for the legislature. No, I cannot speak for someone, the TV representative. I can speak for the people of District Number 8, and I can speak for Representative Acarous Moses Gray.
Thank you, Honorable Great. Honorable Great, to the caller, we're going to come back to you for you to make your recommendation. We're going to have to take one question per caller because we are getting a lot of calls tonight. So,
okay, my recommendation.
Okay, go ahead and give your recommendation.
My recommendation is that the reason why the European people do that is for the children to go back to school or for them to enjoy summer. Right now, the children here in the United States start to enjoy summer. You make comparison to reading season. I would make comparison to say our snow time, which is winter, is a reading season. So I think my recommendation is for the Ministry of Education to go back to the Committee on Education to let the Ministry of Education look into that and see how they can come back so that summertime in Liberia, the children can enjoy the summer and not stay home while it is raining. That's my recommendation. Let us go back to the old days. Those are the good times the children have and they will have. Thank you.
Thank you, Cora. And then to your point about breaches, we had the IT Public Works Minister yesterday, Victor Smith, on yesterday. Of course, I think you missed that call. You should have come on yesterday to ask him. He spent a lot of time with us yesterday. So we're going to take the next one. The next one, Honorable Great, will come from caller 6871. Your name and where you called it from.
Thank you, coordinator. I was on mute. My name is Harrison K. Soso. I'm calling from New Jersey. Honorable Gray, I want to say thank you very much. This is your brother and friend, Harrison, Chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change. I listened to your introductory statement and your brief deliberations on the various questions given you. And the context, one of the topics outlined in the email sent to us by this debaters program, they talk about nepotism. And now, even during your deliberation, you made mention about a bill being introduced by you to look at how we can control that in government now and in the future. My question to you is, as a vanguard or as someone leading, that bill, I just want to tell the people in the diaspora or the person listening public, how do you want for this bill to be? What are you looking at? Just to clarify or in a nutshell to tell us what do you expect of this bill to be, as you anticipate to fight nepotism in government.
Let me say thank you again, Harrison. And first and foremost, this bill is not intended to target the presidency. Let me be very emphatic on that. The Constitution is very clear, the Liberian Constitution. If you go to Chapter 2, General Principles of National Politics, that is Article 5 of the Constitution of Liberia, it's very clear on the issue of establishing a legislation or an executive order. They say the Republic of Liberia. Let me just read a very quick line, not in its totality. So the Republic of Liberia is to take steps by appropriate legislation to eliminate nepotism. Also, it could be done through executive order by that article of the Constitution. It didn't say to minimize nepotism in government. It says to eliminate nepotism. So since 1986, January 6, 1986, nobody, not even the president of our country, not necessarily President Salih, but even former presidents of our country, who should set legislative agenda during the State of the Nation address, have submitted a bill to eliminate nepotism. So I thought it is necessary, because one of the ways of fighting corruption is also to eliminate nepotism in the government instead of creating an imperial oligarchic order in the system of government. So this bill says clearly that family members, specify family members, including your mother, your father, your brothers, your cousin, etc., should not work. You should not appoint them, especially as a government official who has appointing power. So in my office, if I appointed a relative of mine on the basis of the definition of relative in this document, if I appointed a relative of mine and this bill is passed, it means that I will be in violation. So that's why, to take a step forward, in my office, personally, I do not have a single relative that works in my office. So it doesn't target the presidency specifically. It says every public official of the Republic of Liberia, whether you are a legislator, whether you work in the judicial branch of government, whether you're in the executive and you are official of government, even at various agencies of government, autonomous agencies of government, you are on a moral obligation not to appoint your relatives. In terms of when you say relatives, it has a relative is defined as your father, your mother, your son, your daughter, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, etc. It's clearly defined. So we are not saying that family members cannot work in government. We are saying that those who have the appointing power should not appoint them, and also you should not influence the decision to appoint a relative. Take, for example, if I represent District Number 8, Montserrado County, and the panel represent District Number 9 in Montserrado County, I must not influence represent the panel to appoint a relative of mine in our office. It will also be a violation of this act to prohibit nepotism. So that's the cause of the matter, and there are punitive measures, strong punitive measures. Like, for example, say public official making or influencing an appointment in violation of this act shall be subject to a fine between $10,000 United States dollars to $100,000 United States dollars or imprisonment for up to 1 year. So there are also punitive measures. So besides the anti-nepotistic bill, I also submitted this bill that is very significant to the forward march of our country. That has to do with the establishment of a national maternity and children hospital in the Republic of Liberia. The historicity of this bill is predicated upon few cardinal reasons. One, too many women died during the stage of delivery, and too many children also passed away. There is no specialized hospital in the Republic of Liberia to cater to our children and our pregnant women. Not only that, the maternity center on Capital Bypass of our Bassa community, the old maternity center, because it no more exists, the history of our country has been replete by policy on the basis of government, succeeding governments coming to power. In the past, it used to be the maternity hospital, that building there. Later on, it was changed to a children's hospital by President Chastitter, former President Chastitter. Again, when the interim administration came to power, Judy Bryan, subsequently up to now, that area was changed from the children's hospital to that of what we call the Ministry of Health. I've come to realize on the basis of Vision 2030, there are provisions in the vision that must be legislated and not by mere policy statement. So we cannot today say that that area is a maternity center by policy statement by a succeeding government, or tomorrow it's a children's hospital by a policy statement, or day after tomorrow it becomes a Ministry of Health. I'm saying that it should be legislated so that it can be binding on succeeding governments of the Republic of Liberia. So that's the historicity for the foundation of this bill. So we could go into the bill where funding will come from. It should be budgeted by the government of the Republic of Liberia, and also international donors and local donors can help to sponsor the hospital. Someone asked the question, why at the old maternity center in your electoral district on Capital Bypass? I say for the protection of our history and not the Kennedy Center that was destroyed and relocated. The building is stayed on Capital Bypass. In fact, it becomes less costly if we should construct a new building. We already have existing structure on Capital Bypass. What we need to do is to rehabilitate that area, renovate the area, and ensure that we maintain this National Maternity and Children Hospital at that spot. We need a specialized hospital in Liberia. If Sierra Leone can do it, I'm convicted Liberia can do it. If Guinea can do it, I'm overwhelmingly over 100% convinced and convicted that Liberia can do it. You live in the United States of America. I was provoked when I went to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia when my kid was sick and placed in a hospital. I saw the way children are being taken care of in the United States of America. And I've always said this, Liberia has so more resources than any state in the United States of America. People may ask, where will we get the funding from? We can get the funding from our resources of our country. We can approve that. We can appropriate that. We can ensure that we love it. All around the world, the issue of children and the issue of women, especially pregnant women, are on high agenda items around the world, and Liberia can seek international support to construct not only the children's hospital rehabilitated, but to provide all the equipment, train doctors, because the hospital is not only intended to take care of pregnant women and children. It's also intended to serve as a teaching home for people who want to become medical doctors, people who want to become nurses, people who want to specialize in taking care of children and women in the Republic of Liberia. So those are the cardinal costs of the bill itself.
Thank you, Honorable Gray. Honorable Gray, we would like to say maybe you condense it a little bit because we have a lot of people on the line waiting to talk to you or ask you questions or make comments. as we go through the program. So, Cora, do you want to make a recommendation? Because we have to keep rolling tonight.
Yes, thank you very much. In regard to the bill, I think it is very important, just as the brother deliberated. My recommendation is that you try, since of course you have the time and opportunity to meet with the president. I don't know if that's the right procedure. To write her a letter as a lawmaker, telling her that, well, this thing is being constituted and the problem of nepotism is being constituted. And for this reason, we should look at it. I'm deeming it necessary to bring it on the table along my colleagues, for discussion and see her reaction. Because over the time, I read papers and telling people that, in the Liberian people that the professionals are not here. So even I give position to my son or XYZ, is a help because they are professionals. I don't know how legitimate, her statements are. As I said, try to meet, or write a letter to the president, and maybe she did not read that part of the Constitution. Maybe she can take a look and come back on the drawing table to do something about that instead of her being fined at the end of the day.
Okay, Mr. Cecil, let me commend you for your suggestion. But truly speaking, I must concede for the fact that passing this bill will be an uphill battle. I know it won't be an ordinary battle. I know for sure it will be an uphill battle. The reason why it will be an uphill battle, because, like you said, the president herself has been very negative on the issue of cost-training, consuming her children into the system of the governance of the Republic of Liberia. In the 70s, the president was very vocal against President William R. Turnbull on this issue of nepotism in the government. The little history that I know of my country, I say little history because I do not have monopoly over the history of our country. But at least I can speak to cardinal aspects of our history. The Turnbull government had the highest number of relatives in the system. I can also compare that currently the Johnson-Sirleaf government has the highest number of appointed relatives at senior level in government. I know about that. I can speak to that. So the president has been very negative. The president argument has been on the basis of qualification. But the president is also cognizant that Article 5C of the Liberian Constitution asks her, as President of the Republic of Liberia, to issue an executive order to eliminate nepotism. So the president is aware. This has been the national debate. I've debated this issue on countless times, and the president has responded to those issues in some of our talk shows. So the president is very negative about this whole aspect. And if the president is not negative about this whole aspect, the president will take the lead. And I've taken the lead now to appoint a single relative in my office. The president will take a lead to dismiss, and that could serve as a guiding principle. Because, to pass a law, to have a legislation passed, is an uphill battle. It's easy to issue an executive order and difficult to pass a legislation, especially with such a compound, complex bill on the floor. And in fact, to reconcile our country, one of the ways to reconcile our country is not to create an oligarchic imperial order where few people benefit from the resources of our country. No, I don't think so. I believe if we must reconcile Liberia, we have to support this bill. The wealth of our country must be distributed equally across the board. I'm convicted about that. So to say that I should write the president is a good suggestion. For record's sake, I could do that just for record's sake. But the president has been very negative about this bill. So I take the recommendation into consideration, and I will think about it. I had to address it. But the president has been very, very much clear on this bill and defending the qualification of our children in government. She's been very clear about that and all our relatives in government.
Thank you, Honorable Acarous Moses Gray. CDC Montserrado County, District Number 6, Representative Honorable Gray. We're going to take the next one. The next one is going to come from caller 8386. Your name and where you're calling from. Your last number, 8386. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? You are not on mute. We're going to skip you. That's 8386, your last number. You have 484-861-8386. Okay, we're going to skip you.
Hello?
Whenever you do.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Portia Gray Camara, and I'm calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to the show, my sister.
Thank you. My question to the Honorable Representative is this. What can you share with us about the support from your peers regarding the maternity bill?
Okay. I'm very happy to have my aunt on the line tonight in the United States of America. I feel very proud. And this bill has one of the highest support in terms of the co-sponsors. We have over 38 representatives in the House of Representatives who are co-sponsors of this bill. So the bill is currently in committee room, is with the Committee on Health, and I'm talking to them. But passing a bill in Liberia takes some time. But this bill is a very friendly bill. Like I've said to many persons, it's a consensus bill, unlike a political bill. So I'm convicted that our colleagues definitely will support this cause. So this bill has one of the highest number of co-sponsors amongst many bills in the history of our country. So it becomes a consensus bill. But I've been talking to a lot of persons, and these are political times. So sometimes you may submit a very good bill, but sometimes people think that you want to seek personal glory because you submit a burden bill, and sometimes it becomes a political issue. But I'm doing everything, and I've been talking to a lot of persons, including the speaker, the lawmakers from the Unity Party, especially some of my brethren colleagues in the Unity Party, and the NUDP, the Liberty Party, the independent candidates. So, but many persons signed this bill before I submitted the bill. Yes, I'm the crafter of the bill and the chief sponsor of the bill, but it has a strong support, a very strong support.
Thank you, Mr. Honorable Representative. I am very proud to be identified as your aunt. I did not want to introduce that in the conversation, and I am very happy to know that the bill does have a broad-based support, and I will assume coming from both houses, and my heart and hope as a dear citizen of Liberia and one who has over 25 years of experience in social work is that this bill will be voted into law, and that many of us here in abroad at some point in time will participate in the rebuilding of this great endeavor. So thank you, and I wish you all the best as you continue to represent the people of not only your district, but of Liberia very well. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Next one, as I say, we have a lot of people. We have more than 100 already on the line, so we got to condense it, or else we are not going to be able to take everyone tonight, except if you want to take 3 hours on this line with us. So we're going to take the next one. The next one is 1347, your last number. Go to 1347. Go are you there? Your last number is 1347.
Hello?
Okay, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my question here is that I listened to the Honorable very well. And first of all, I'm Ansel Dukley calling from New York.
Welcome to the show, my brother.
Yeah. Honorable, thank you for taking your time to come and speak to us today. It is very much welcoming. And the bill concerning nepotism, Honorable, I believe before you undertake this step, you know very well the rich culture of our nation. And you do believe that it is not going to be a downhill bill. And we hope that while you are in office, you will be able to achieve it. But is there any plan that you are making to make sure that even if you are not in office, this bill continues to fight, to live on until it succeeds? Because we all know the significance of it. And understanding the fact that the president, the current president, have a higher stake against this bill, we know that it will be very tough for it to get through. But is there any act or plan that you make sure, even if you are not in office, that this bill will continue to dominate and until it comes to pass? Thank you.
Definitely. And one of the cardinal reasons, you see, like I said, it's a constitutional mandate. The people of Liberia voted through a referendum to have the laws we have today, the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. No individual is bigger than the law of the Republic of Liberia. The people of Liberia, through my advocacy, the history of my advocacy has been very clear. The people of Liberia, through my advocacy, even if I'm not a lawmaker, including you, including the people of the Republic of Liberia, should add their voice or their voices to show that this bill is passed. Because, like you said, sometimes bills are submitted, and the bills I killed in committee rooms. I know about that. That's why I said this bill, yes, history will remember that we presented such a bill. History will remember that, and it could be reintroduced in subsequent time. But I'm not deterred. All I can say to you is that you can join me, others can join me, even if I don't succeed in the passage of this bill during my remaining 4.5 years as a lawmaker. If I'm not again, which I do not intend to be, but if I'm not again, I'm hoping that those who will succeed us in the future will push this bill consistently. So if you have a brother in the legislature, if you have a friend, if you know people there, I think one of the best things to do is to encourage them. Because like you said, there is a need for the passage of this bill. The bill does not have to be passed necessarily verbatimly. We can make some corrections. People can debate it. People can look at our culture and our tradition and amend portion of the bill. You can amend provisions of the proposed bill. So, but I think there is a need, and we must fulfill the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Calculate from 1986 up to 2013. Calculate the number of years that we've not been able to pass a code of conduct for public officials. That code of conduct was reintroduced. It's also an uphill battle. I reintroduced that bill, the code of conduct bill. Also, there's another bill that has a constitutional backing. So I hope that if I'm not a lawmaker in the future, I hope that those who will succeed us or those who will be there, including the next president of the Republic of Liberia, will add his or her voice on the passage of this bill if I'm not there.
Do you have a recommendation for the Honorable?
Yeah. Honorable, first, my recommendation would be like you rightly said, I do know that around the world, millions of Liberians, both in and out of Liberia, are supporting you 100%, whether they speak or not, but their support is all with you. And understanding the fact of our political field, we know that things like this, where the president's interest is at stake, it is not going to be an easy battle, but we will do all we can as citizens and patriots of that land to support you. And another recommendation I'm making is, that's a statement I'll be making is concerning the health sector. I must first salute you. If you look at Liberia and you come the years of that nation age, and you go around the surrounding neighbors, and you see what they are doing, and then you come back to ask yourself as a patriot, what are we doing? And having a brilliant honorable who is thinking beyond the boundaries to expound our area that are very much important beyond political boundaries, it is very much appreciated. And I must salute you for taking that step, and I commend, and I must ask all other legislatures to please join hands and save Mama Liberia, because Mama Liberia will never develop when our children are dying, just our wives and our moms are dying only because they want to give birth. If they have to be rushing to other nations, just asking for the simplest things that they need to get to support them. And children are dying because of it. So I'm asking all political leaders, both Madam President, that she herself knows her children are dear to her and her grandchildren. And that nation needs a solution to the problem of millions of Liberians. So therefore, I am calling on each and every one of us, both abroad and back home, to support that bill any way we can, so that tomorrow we can have a maternity center where our wives and our sisters' mother will go very simple and get the blessing of what the Honorable has introduced. So thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Caller. Honorable Gray, on our end.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Gray, on our end, whenever we have a senator or House of Representatives coming on the show, we'll make sure we include this topic on there, and then we'll give you a feedback on those who are on board with you in the coming months. So we're going to take the next one. The next one is going to come from caller 9084. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, hi. My name is Bob Sharif, and I'm calling from New Jersey.
Yes,
Honorable, first of all, are you hearing me?
Yes, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, I'm getting.
All right. First of all, thank you, Honorable, for coming up with this show to hear some of the grievances we have in the diaspora here. If I heard the senator right, and you spoke of the negativity of the president when it comes to your bill, the nepotism bill. Actually, I don't just believe that she's negative about the bill, but I believe she nullified the idea that nepotism will bring an halt to whatever desire you have for a family member. But I know nepotism been existing since 1847, and I was born in the 80s. But from my observation in the Dole administration at the end of prior to the war and the interim government time up to now, I know nepotism still exists. If the president can actually nullify the bill of nepotism, which is very important, if you continue to do so, and what are some of the recommendations from you as a representative to the Liberian people that we can do, to enforce whatever bill, this bill, the nepotism bill, in the House of Representatives or wherever, which government branch can we force it? And the next question is in the education sector. When I visited Liberia a couple of years ago, let's say a year ago now, actually, I was very opposed to see some of the happening in our school system, especially when it comes to the female student. There's a system right now. I don't know whether you guys are aware of it. That there's a system that goes around saying that, excuse me for my language, says for grade, which was very, very bad. When I heard it and I even had some sister in the school, at the high school level up to the university level. I saw in the news there were outcry of a group of female students at the University of Liberia who advocating that this thing have transcended in the University of Liberia, where the professors are asking the female students to either, give them something in return of grade and to grade, and that is quote pro quo. And I want to know, Honorable, what are you doing? Is there something that in the house that you guys are addressing these issues because it's a serious concern?
Thank you, Cora.
All right. Truly speaking, let me answer the second question.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable just left the line, so I guess he has to lower his phone again. So please bear with us. I know he's surely going to come back. And we're going to open the lines there. We're going to go to, now this caller. Caller, we're going to keep you on hold where we take a different person to keep the day going, keep the line going. And as soon as the Honorable comes on, we will surely bring you back on. So we're going to go back to the sister. Let's see what her sister number is. Okay, she's right here. So we're going to come back to you. As a female, what do you think of the bill that the Honorable is working on? I know you spoke very, very, very. Okay, I think let me see here. Oh, it was here. So, sister, what do you think of the bill? Okay, the Honorable is back with us. So, Honorable Acarous is back with us. Go ahead, Honorable Gray.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I went off the line. But like I said, let me answer the second question. This has not been officially brought to the attention of the legislature. And it has not been a subject matter at the legislature. And I think it's a very good concern that you raised on the issue of sex for grade. It should be discouraged by all well-meaning Liberians, because what we need teachers who have moral standing, people who will impact knowledge. We need people who will graduate from our rural universities or high schools that will have the necessary qualification. I've read newspapers in Liberia. In fact, rural part of Liberia, I read newspapers. I think it was in Bonny County, if I'm not wrong, that a teacher impregnated a school-going girl. And I know of a case in one of the universities around here where a female student recorded one of the professors who was involved into similar sex or grade. And immediately, when the evidence was provided, the professor was dismissed from the university. He resigned, in fact, from the university immediately. So this is a serious matter. Much attention has not been focused on that. But again, I think the students themselves now, we have to bring this to public attention, not only sex for grades, but also on the issue of bribing instructors to pass students in Liberia. You know, the president described our educational system as a mess. It's unfortunate that the president would describe the educational system of our country as a mess, and those who created the mess are still there. The minister of education is still minister. All of deputies are still there. So those who created the mess, if the president will say it's a mess, then the mess will have to be dealt with. She has to clean up the mess. I was very ecstatic. I was very joyous when the president said the educational system is a mess. because I thought the president would have taken practical actions or measures to ensure that I will clean up the mess. But again, it's the president of the Republic of Liberia. She made a statement, and she has the authority to clean up the mess. But I think it's a very serious matter, because if instructors are being bribed, seriously, it's a criminal matter. Sexual grade is also a criminal matter. It could be tantamount to sexual harassment or rape. So the females, the females that are involved into this, or teachers that are being involved into this, I think we have to encourage our school-going kids to come up public. I think we have to encourage them. So let me tell you, thank you very much for bringing this critical issue of national concern on this all-important forum. It's something that I will place on my agenda, and maybe our next sitting will raise these issues.
Thank you, Honorable Carlos Moses Gray, CDC, Montserrado County, District 8. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joining us, this is Liberia Destiny Debaters. Joining us from Liberia is the Honorable House of Representatives, Carlos Gray. And we are discussing his anti-nepotism bill, reconciliation, national maternity, children hospital bill that the Honorable is working on. Honorable, we're going to take the next one. The next one is going to come from caller 0853. Your name and where you calling from?
Senator Moderator, I know we keep squeezing you on this program, but you have to understand that now you have a huge social media that is helping connect to Liberia. So let me just first of all squeeze in and say I want to commend you for that. I want to talk to our Honorable Acarous Gray. Mr. Gray, you are the representative of my district. I live in Buze Quarter, and I was there before the election. And I watched a lot of things over there as far as what the euphoria of election can bring. Some people come in and say they will show the best color they have, or because they want to win votes. And other people come in because they have some dynamism. So from the two perspectives, what I'm saying is that I watched a guy over there who was strong opposition. But when I enter Monrovia, I want the Buze Quarter, I want the Slipway, bypass, and you can leave the rest of it as a representative. I saw massive kind of development going over there in terms of the urgent need of the people. Until you got introduced into the picture. I was also in Monrovia when our Honorable Ambassador George, we have introduced you as a contestant and you swept the election. I was enthusiastic to know who Mr. Acarous Gray is. But also, while I've been assist, I really listen to most of your tone from Liberia. You have been very vocal, and you have taken on issues that some guys are scared to take on. And I don't want to be I want to be very honest. Sometimes I really appreciate you because some guys are cowards. And I admire you for some stand. But I have a concern, and I have to do with the fact that I feel you are overstretched. You have a senator in your constituency. Now, my only concern is that you represent areas that are highly dilapidated. Frustratingly, Tonko, Buze Quarter, Capital Hill, name the rest for me, Slipway. I was in Africa the other day in Liberia, and I got scared for the way the people are living over there. No restrooms, no cool pipe and water system. They are still living the way I left them 10 years ago. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know where you live. But I think you are so concerned with too much of national issues that you're not really paying attention to local and slavery, Buze Quarter, Chinatown, because they're still working on those trenches and using They still using the bathroom that can trap in the air. How you call it? Like a round plunker. They still walk on those sticks and they trap their feces in there. And the buga take the they call it buga, and then they buy the same buga and eat them. And then I hear you talking about maternity center that cannot even handle the amount of kids you got around there. So what are you doing to solve the health needs and the urgent needs of poor Buze Quarter, Slipway, Charlatan, Plonko, or Gerald? Those are falls within your purview, Mr. Representative. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And it's a question that I so much admire a whole lot. And I'm not going to be on this forum to mislead or construct bridges where there are not rivers or water. Then I will be making some mistake. Because these are national issues. My district has almost the highest number of registered voters in Liberia. And thank God you say you live in this district. This district has over 200,000 Liberians. District number 8. District number 8 has one of the highest number of slums since the political foundation of Liberia in 1822. So it's a concerted national government issue. It cannot be an Acarous Gray issue. Yes, I represent the people. My salary cannot rebuild Buze Quarter, nor can it rebuild Jalastan or Rock Spring Valley where I live on Capitol Bypass, Sleway, Plonko, Satan. These are slum and ghetto areas. I concur with you. The issue of latrine is a big challenge, an extremely big challenge. I've advocated a whole lot. There's no vacant land in District number 8. No vacant land where we could construct a public latrine. There's no vacant land. The reason why the donors will not want to construct a public latrine, because if there is a vacant land owned by a family, it means that that land should be turned over to the community through legal documents, so that today when you construct a latrine or construct a hand pump, the family cannot claim the land or the hand pump because the hand pump is on that family land. So it's an extreme challenge. What I thought on doing is to encourage during my agricultural break, is to encourage every household. You're talking about the heartbeat of the city of Monrovia, the heartbeat, where the 3 branches of government are, where the bulk of Liberians come to school at the university levels. You're talking about like 5 universities. We want to encourage our community dwellers to begin the process of building latrines or having fresh toilet in their homes. That's what we want to do. We may not succeed holistically, but I'm optimistic. Now, during the agricultural break, this campaign is launched, where people are encouraged, though it's a city ordinance, it's a matter of mass, okay? But I want to encourage them. You see the way Monrovia is being built. Houses are congested, communities, you enter into communities, and you know. So I've been involved in the rehabilitation. Currently, as I speak to you, I'm rehabilitating the Jogbatan public latrine right near what you call the Nancy Bido Market. That community is called Jogbatan Community in my district. So I'm rehabilitating a latrine there as I speak to you. Okay, it costs a little over $3,000 United in terms of rehabilitating that field. So, and the issue of water, I can state to you clearly that the issue of water has been a very big challenge, an extreme challenge. Okay, the water and sewer had not had the capacity. This budget year that is about to end this month, we approved a good sum of money, and water and sewer went and bought some equipment, and as I speak to you, at least water is now coming to a good portion of Monrovia. A good portion of Monrovia, you have water now coming to a good portion of Monrovia, maybe after every 2 or 3 days. So we will encourage community dwellers to begin the process of running pumps into their homes. I hope that can work. or we could lobby it to see how we could construct some public pumps for running water. But the challenge here is this. Okay, even if you do that, the issue of maintenance sets in, because people generate the funds, sell the water, and at the end of the day, they abuse the funding, and the bill goes high up. And it comes right back to the lawmaker and say, look, our bills are up. My community, my district is divided into 21 communities. 21 communities. You're talking about a huge challenge of over 200,000 persons. You're talking about having almost the highest number of registered voters. So it's a very big challenge, and I concur with you. The Busequara that you spoke of, that you lived in Busequara the last time, I lobbied, helped to renovate a school there when the storm came to Liberia last year in the tune of $5,000 United States dollars. I was just in Busequara. You go to my page, you'll see the went there to do some cleaning up in the Busequara community. I took some equipment. As I speak to you, I'm speaking to the Public Works Ministry. I'm speaking to the Finance Ministry to release the $100,000 United States dollars for the Water and Sanitation Committee to begin the process of cleaning the drainage that runs from Nipple Street all the way down to Busequara. It's terrible. I hope that could be done. When you're talking about a shortfall in the budget of $23 million United States dollars shortfall in our budget. So it's a very big challenge, and the budget year ends this month, and we have to pass a new budget. So it's a big challenge, and I cannot do it alone, and I will not pretend to say that I can do it alone, and I will not pretend to make unnecessary promises to my people. I will not do that. What I can do as a lawmaker, I will do that. And the issue of electricity, I think you came back, and you can attest to it now. There is electricity in Busequara. It was through my advocacy. Electricity now is in slavery. Electricity is some part of Jalastan. And it's a gradual process, and I'm an opposition. Understand that also. We are only 10 in the House of Representatives, or some of the TV representatives. So it's a big challenge, a very big challenge. So, I appreciate the fact that you raised these issues, and since 1822, many of these areas have stayed the same way they were since 1822. So the national government I should look into that. Yes, my voice is there. I've been advocating. The records are available. Go to my Facebook page, and you will see what I've been doing in the slums community in terms of cleaning up exercise.
Thank you, Honorable Acarous. Cora, do you have a recommendation? You got to make it.
Oh, yes, definitely, Mr. Acarous. You are a very pragmatic speaker. And once again, I just want to say, I admire you, and I don't live in Busequara right now, but I'm always in Liberia in Monrovia, and my first stop is Busequara, and I was a relief worker in the entire. You see, my concern has to do with Mr. Honorable Gray is that the moderator of this program understands where I'm coming from. I used to be, during the hardest day of Liberia, I used to be a relief worker coordinator for the entire area called District 8 that you now run. Busequara, I know where it was. He can attest to you that I knew the urgency of how people were throwing their feces over. They used to call it airplane. The people use the bag. They use they put their feces in the plastic bag and fly over the building to the point to lower part of Busequara, and then we'll go over the buildings and things. And then when it rains, the rain will come and the people will feed the fresh water, and we'll take that same water to drink. I was there as a relief coordinator. I saw the problem, and I thought how I made sure I lobbied for like 10 latrines, 10 within the Busequara and the lower part around the barrier area. But one thing you said, people will be very critical, oh, this one here and there. Oh, if you put it, I'm going to own it. But up to today, it's like over 10 years or 12 years. If you go to Busequara, ask anybody, I'm Blama Kali. The moderator should tell you, you still have 2 other latrines on it with almost like 10, almost like 20 different rooms that is still serving that community and it's doing nothing, Mr. Your Honorable Gray. The poor are so devastated. You are saying using $100,000, Mr. Moderator, I'm very sorry, taking issue, but we should be discussing issues that are so critical to the life of our poor. The poor alone that live around the children over there are struggling and suffering. I was a relief worker over there or self-worker, I know where it was. If you think of spending $100,000 to clean a drainage, Your Honorable, I want you to rethink your priorities. Please, with no disrespect, because $100,000 to clean the drainage should be kind of what you call a municipal project. It should be a project that has to do with municipality. But that is not going to improve the life of those people that are living in those second buildings over there. And they don't even have place to take, take a shower and thing. Look, you have an enormous problem. So all I'm trying to say in short is that, Mr. Grazer, you have a lot of talent, trust me. And if you can just sharpen it a little bit, we can depend on you in Liberia. Because you're not scared. You're not scared. And you talk sense. But coming down to the point here is that I just want you to downsize your priority. I want you to look at the needs of the poor of Slipway, the needs of the poor of Plonko, the needs of the poor of Charlotte, the needs of the poor of Brazil, because those people are living terribly. Okay? You be in America and see what? And then one thing you said to me, when my daughter went to the hospital in Philadelphia, I got a problem with that. Let me be very frank. I got a serious problem with you. I got a serious problem with you as a politician. You should not have mentioned that. If your children can come to the hospital in Philadelphia, the children are one of the most prestigious children, and then you live on Capitol Hill, where are the children Capitol Hill going? I want you to rethink that, and thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, Father. That was just a comment.
Okay.
You want to talk about?
Let me just provide some clarity to the speaker, and I love the passion with which he spoke. And if we have many of our people that will speak with passion like that and become more pragmatic, I will appreciate it. But he spoke with great passion, and I appreciate his advice. When I said my daughter, she actually went for vacation to her grandma and she got sick. Okay, I didn't fly off on Liberia to seek medical attention in the United States of America. No, let me correct that. She went to spend some time with family members and she got sick. And I was in a state to a U.S. Congress program with the late Senator John Whitfield and 4 other senators and representatives. So it was not that I flew all of Liberia for medical attention. I thought to make that necessary, that clarification, because it should not be misconstrued. I'm only saying when I went to see her there, because she got sick there, and you couldn't fly her back to Liberia to take treatment. The next issue you raised, in the budget, there were $15 million United States dollars placed into the budget, approved by us, $15 million United States dollars for youth-related programs. And among those related programs had to do with the issue of the drainage cleanup, trying to employ young people in Liberia. But with the budget shortfall, the money was reduced to something like $30 million. You know, there's a big budget shortfall. So in that $30 million United States dollars, the executive branch of government tried to allocate $100,000 United States dollars for the drainage. And if you were in Liberia, the drainage runs from Nipo Street. Like you said, most of the pipes from the homes are being run into the drainage. The drainage is extremely terrible. The people in Busia Quarter areas, they themselves have requested for the cleaning of that drainage. They themselves. You're talking about that drainage is a government drainage. So they've been to the Public Works Ministry on many occasions. They've been to the Finance Ministry, and they've been advocating. So it's what the people want. It's not what I want to impose on them. And I did not allocate the $100,000 United States dollars. It was under the youth program of $15 million United States dollars. So I thought to get that point clear to you. But I appreciate the passion with which you spoke. And that's why during my agriculture break, we should seek medical attention, and you can attest to that my agriculture break, I did not come to the United States of America during the agriculture break, or went all of Liberia in terms of going to Ghana or whatsoever to seek medical attention. So I thought to make that clarification to you.
Thank you, Honorable Carlos Moses Gray. Honorable Gray, we're going to take the next one. As I said, we have a lot of people on the line, so if we condense it, we'll take a lot of questions because it's almost about 11 o'clock your time. So we're going to, the next one is going to come from caller 3693. Your name and where you calling from? Yes, 3693. That's your last number.
Hey, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, how you doing, man? Okay.
Good, how are you? Honorable Gray, what's up?
Yeah, that's my brother there from SBA. I know him. Anyway, my name is George Camara. I'm calling from Minnesota. How you doing, Honorable Moses?
Yeah, how are you, Josh?
Yeah, fine. So I got a couple of questions for you. I'd like to hit this point strictly.
All right, Honorable Gray, can you take let's please take one because we have a lot of people on the line. Just take one question, please.
Okay. I will hit this straight.
Sorry
That's
about
good.
that. So we want to make sure we take all of the calls.
Sure, sounds good. What you guys doing about the situation that was going on in the past situation concerning about you eat, I eat fraga? Because this story have been bothering me in the past, and from my own point of view, according to your expectation, I've been knowing you in the past with guys. I mean, from SDA, I was in SDA too as well. I would like to know what's the situation of CDC with you guys going on an eat, I eat situation. Because, I mean, you guys have gone to work and now the kids, it seems to be like the kids is just going to die down. Like government say, we all know result. Because we are trying to abide by modern policy. If the modern policy, you want to institute modern policy into Africa, I mean, no one is above the law. I think that what's been going on? You got.
You are very low. I'm not getting the question. You are very low. I'm not getting the question.
Can you take your phone off the speaker, caller?
Okay,
your phone is on speaker.
Hello?
Can you take it off the speaker? Yes.
Okay, this is my name is Gibson Giroux. And
Gibson Giroux,
hello, my friend Acarous Gray.
I would like for you to hold on. Gibson Giroux, I would like for you to hold on. Let this caller get done first. Caller, go ahead, George. Please make it brief, George.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please make it brief. We have a lot of people on the line, so ask your questions or make a recommendation.
About the issue you eat issue, and there's no result yet. Up to now, you guys still there in the house there, and we haven't heard any concrete result about the issue, and the guys still in there working. I mean, there should be some investigation that should be going on about the house. That's what I was asking.
Honorable Gray, what has your party done to deal with this issue? Because this is, if your party is looking at 2017, and there's a German in your party who was caught on some video talking about you eat, I eat, so this is where the German is coming from. What are you guys doing to deal with this issue, or as it might come close to you guys, 2017, to harm your party?
I've always listened to people when it comes to the CDC, and all of these conversations like what the CDC is doing. The first thing, the CDC lawmakers should represent the Beaufort Chimos and represent the Montserrado and Youngblood. They wrote a letter to the plenary to investigate the matter. So the CDC lawmakers took the lead on that subject matter. And the relevant committee, it remains the custodian of that investigation. So for people to ask what the CDC has done, the CDC lawmakers themselves call for a probe to a communication to the plenary. At the National Executive Committee of the Congress of Democratic Change, and I will not be speaking for the National Executive Committee of the party. The party has its own spokesperson now, and no more the spokesperson. I established a committee, and the committee, my understanding, has made a report on that. But let us be a little careful because you know the issue of in Liberia recalling people with all his or her consent. It's a very legal issue. Recording are not usually used as evidence, especially with all the consent of the person. So yeah, that is a very technical issue, extremely technical issue. But the CDC has demonstrated beyond all reasonable doubts when a sitting Deputy Speaker of the Republic of Liberia of the Congress of Democratic Change was ordered arrested by the government of the Republic of Liberia and subsequently requested to appear in court. The CDC encouraged the Deputy Speaker to appear in court, a sitting Deputy Speaker of the Republic of Liberia. Not only that, but the issue of Roland Khan, who were accused of allegedly sending people from slavery into somewhere in Bassa, and between Bassa and Magibi County, and a lot of children got killed. The CDC requested that he submit himself, and he was placed behind bars for 6 months. A sitting senator of the Republic of Liberia. He was placed behind bars for 6 months at South Beach, and the matter was adjudicated. He came clean all of the case. So the CDC has established precedent. The CDC did not say don't go to court. The CDC has never said that. But the Constitution comes back again to play the devil advocate. The city mayor, the then city mayor of the Republic of Liberia, who are assaulted citizens of our country, okay, who allowed a pregnant woman to what we call in our Liberian parlance to pump tire, who beat people physically in the street of Monrovia. They still failed to act by arresting the then mayor, Mary Brock, the state. So the law cannot be wanting one individual and leaving another individual out. The next question comes back again. What has the Unity Party done to Musa Beliti, who was caught on the tip with the former head of the RIA? What has the Unity Party done? Has the Unity Party condemned that? On the 4 issue, yes, the CDC has condemned the situation. Lawmakers from the Congress of Democratic Change have written plenary. What has the Unity Party done? On the issue of Councilor Van Chairman, the chairman of the Unity Party that was called on the tape also, what has the Unity Party done? Have they condemned it? The party has not. What action have they taken? So my concern here is that the CDC has demonstrated that it has the capacity to take punitive measures against its own. The CDC has not just sat behind there and look at issues to go unpunished. No, it's not the Congress of Democratic Change that we labor for. It's not the CDC that I know. So I can say to you categorically that the CDC has taken a stance on this matter. So I will challenge you, and I will challenge all well-meaning Liberians, whether in the diaspora or here, to call on the government of the Republic of Liberia, to call on the Unity Party, the governing Unity Party, the punitive measure against its chairman that was called on a tape, to take punitive measure against Musa Beliti, who was the campaign manager of the Unity Party in Montserrado County, called on a tape in a conversation with the former RIA boss. These are issues that we must raise across political parties and not restrictive to the Congress of Democratic Change. So let me say thank you very much again.
Thank you, Honorable Gray. Honorable Gray, we're going to take the next one. The next one will come from 9281. The live number, that's Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson Jeru.
Yes. Yes.
Hello,
Go
Honorable
ahead.
Gray. This is your friend Gibson.
Oh, Gibson, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, my brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate your coming on here today, especially the issues you are discussing that have to do with, conflict of interest and all of that. They are very important. I have one or two concerns. How is this bill? No, not how, not the how of the bill actually, but do you foresee the possibility of this president signing this bill? Because you know, and I know that the law provides that she can veto, and the only way the plenary can get it done is when she refuses to return it in 20 days, it can automatically become bill. But she can veto it. And the way things are going, don't you think there's a possibility that the bill might just be vetoed and it may not see the day of life? That's the first concern. My second concern, sir, you have been in the vanguard of advocacy for a long time, and I know that, and we collaborated and all of that. But recently, there are some Liberians that have been in jail, and they have been reported by the U.S. State Department that about 164 people are in jail who are not on trial, they are not charged, and they're supposed to be charged. And those include the 29 for grand jury. But I haven't heard anything from you. Does it not interest you, or is it the same thing that other people are afraid that maybe she will lobby against you and get you off that job because she did it to Edwin Snow and other people? Is that what you are afraid of, that you don't want to speak on them? What is happening here?
Gibson, let me speak first to the issue of the president took a constitutional oath, not just an oath, to uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So, to protect the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, the president must protect Article 5C of the Constitution, that calls for either an executive order to eliminate nepotism or a legislation. So I will not want to preempt what the president will do. I do not want to preempt it. I understand that there will be a fight in terms of the passage of the bill. I know that for sure, and I know the battle will go on and on and on for some good length of time. But does that presuppose that I must not submit the bill when the Constitution mandates that we must do that? So being a defender of the Constitutional Republic of Liberia, I chose to submit it. It is now our responsibility as Liberian citizens to speak to our lawmakers to pass this bill. It is our responsibility, whether you're in the diaspora or whether you're in Liberia. The next question you asked about fear. I have no fear, and I will have no fear for President Salif. I've never have a fear for the President of the Republic of Liberia. I respect the President. I respect the office of the Presidency. I will do that. Okay? Even after I went to jail and came up, I shook the hands of the President. I wonder whether she could shake President Doe's hand. I wonder whether she could shake the hands of the former Liberian head of state, Charles Peter. But that is a separate debate. She was elected for 6 years. I was also elected for 6 years. I'm not Edwin Barron Snow. I'm Acarous Moses Gray, and I have no fear. It doesn't matter whether I'm a lawmaker today or whether I'm not a lawmaker tomorrow. What matters is my conviction, my conscience, and what I believe in. And let me also use this occasion, like I said, to condemn the continuous imprisonment of Liberians, and even if they were non-Liberians. We have called for speedy trial. We've done that. And I agree with you that I have to be stronger. I have to add a stronger voice on this. I concur with you perfectly without any disagreement that it doesn't matter which country they come from. It doesn't matter which tribal group they come from. What matters to me is to ensure that we respect the rule of law, is to ensure that we do not arbitrarily arrest people. In our country, we passed those days of the dark ages where people were being arrested. We passed the days where people were kept into quote-unquote protected custody against their will. And I concur with you. But the people of Grand Gile also, and the people of the Republic of Liberia, will have to speak in unison. They have to stand firm and committed. This is a Liberian problem. And I been one of those who been speaking to this issue. I've said it should not appear as if to say the government is against a particular tribal group, because that is strenuous for the forward march and reconciliatory process of our country. So yes, I will add a stronger voice to it, and I can guarantee you, and you know me, Gibson, very well, that I don't say what I cannot do. The issue of fear, I have no fear, and President Salif cannot unseat me. We have 17 candidates in District Number 8, 5 sponsored by the Unity Party, 40 sponsored by the President himself. They could not defeat me. I can guarantee you they will not defeat me. So I just want to do the right thing, and I believe our country will move forward, and I believe that if the government insists that the people should be tried, it should be done speedily. But I'm convicted that as a result of the current reconciliation process ongoing, I think they should be released for the forward march of our country. Probably the government could give what we call nulla prosequa. Because the president cannot pardon them when they are not tried, but you can use a technical legal jargon called nulla prosequa to do that. So I think the government could do that. But thank you very much for that concern. And thank you very much for notifying me on that.
Thank you. Gibson, do you have a recommendation? Because the Honorable have just given you what you wanted then.
Yeah, actually, my brother, I believe in Acarous. I call you Acarous because we're friends. And I know where we came from. I know midnight you would come to my office at the public agenda, the analyst newspaper, and we did things together. I believe that I know this guy is a democratic force, and I just want to urge him, my recommendation to him is we are really getting short of democratic forces, agent of change, and I don't want you to waver, my brother. The battle is very tough, but with you at the representative, and if we can have another 10 people in our house that will represent the culture of democracy that we wish for, I think we can all return and call Liberia a democratic home. I know it's difficult, but we will get there. And also, I want to thank you for the donations to the school the other day. I think this is the right way to go. People who are making a little money and taking some of it and sharing it with people who are in need, those are people we want in government. Because we see the example here how government officials, how they use their resources to build other people's lives. Don't waver. Don't eat all and eat all the way to your elbow. Make sure you always share with your people who you believe in. And I thank you very much for answering my question.
Thank you, Gibson. The next caller, Honorable Gray. I hope you prepare for this night. It looks like it's going to be a long road. It's all the way up to you because we asked for 2 hours. So whenever you want to, you just let us know. But we have a lot of people still on the line. So the next one will come from caller 518-5158. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Cecilia Hickey. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Welcome to the show, Sister Cecilia.
Thank you. Representative Gray, I have a couple of questions for you. I know that you have been a very controversial leader in Liberia. And as a CDC member, you were thrown out of a session a couple of weeks ago, which you guys were in a discussion to pass a bill for blind people in Liberia to have an equal right in participating in government, social, and economic life in our society. Why were you thrown out of the section, and were you against this particular bill?
Okay. Let me say thank you very much, and let me correct. Probably the word thrown out of session could be idiomatic. Then later, I think it's an idiomatic expression. Maybe asking you to leave the session instead of thrown out of the session has been reported. And let me just quickly say to you, to answer your question exactly, I am one of those who happen to be a strong supporter of the bill. Okay, I debated in favor of the bill, and I voted for the bill. My vote was very clear for the bill. If you have people in Liberia, they can attest to that. I mean, I debated for the passage of the bill. But what actually happened in session was this. The presiding officer raised an issue, and thank you very much for bringing this question to public attention so that we can try to clear the air. And we had a speaker on the floor, and Representative Youngblood tried to speak across the floor, and the presiding officer said he will call the sergeant of arms to put Representative Youngblood. So when Representative Youngblood was recognized to speak on the same issue that just raised on this bill, Representative Famule spoke across the floor and said that it was an attack on his character by Representative Youngblood. And I told the presiding officer, I said, look, Representative Youngblood is speaking, and if Representative Famule begins to talk across the floor and you don't threaten him with calling the sergeant of arms to point you over, you could do it to Representative Youngblood to try to bring her to book, then you're not being balanced and not being subjective. And that ended the way it ended. And then the next representative, Representative Baron Brown, was recognized by the presiding officer, and he began to speak. Representative Famula again, Representative Baron Brown, and in fact walked up to the podium to the presiding officer. So I told the presiding officer that it was unfair. And he cannot walk up to you and even interrupt a speaker. He cannot call the sergeant of arms. That has been partial. So under that condition, the presiding officer, not the speaker now, the presiding officer who is the head on the committee on executive, asked that I leave the plenary. So you saw the pandemonium. Many persons disagreed. But under our rules, Rule 7, let me just read Rule 7 to you. Rule 7 is very clear. The presiding officer cannot put anyone out according to our rule. Rule 7, there's a provision. It states for order. And how do we maintain order? You maintain order by inviting the sergeant of arms to walk into the spaces and ask you to take your seat, okay, and encourage you. It doesn't say put a lawmaker out of session. There's no provision within our rules says that, because that is a hall of debate. It's not an ordinary area. You know the legislature, you know the Congress in the United States of America. It's a hall of debate. People debate the issues. If you want your idea to be placed across the floor, sometimes you got to be intellectually forceful. It's not a hall like people will say in Liberia for Bobo lawmaker. It's a hall for people who have the intellectual might to debate the issue, to convince your peer group and your colleague across the floor. So Rule 7, it talks about the power and duties of the speaker. It says that 7.3, preserve order and perfect decorum, and shall decide all questions of order subject to an appeal to the Honorable House of Representatives. The speaker shall see that members conduct themselves in a civil and orderly manner. When necessary, just listen to this skinny. It says when necessary, the speaker may order the sergeant at arms to clear the assholes and compel members to take their seats. It didn't say to compel members to get out. It said to compel members to take their seats. So even asking a lawmaker out of the hall or an attempt to even force him out of the hall is a violation of our rules. But I chose not to go that route. I walked out of the hall voluntarily and came back in later on. So for me, it was not an issue. I had a point, okay, and the cameras were there. The way it was reported, they were blown out of proportion. And I hope you get that clear, and I hope you seek further clarification through visual analysis of what actually transpired. So I accepted it, okay, and I hold no malice against anybody for that. I mean, in politics in other areas in the Israeli Knesset, what you call legislature in Liberia or the parliament, people fight. In the legislature, we do not fight, we exchange ideas, and this has not been the first time where people walk from one seat to another to engage others on the subject matter or the lobby on the feet, on the floor. But the presiding officer is the presiding officer. And you know that always is all politics. So these things happen.
Thank you, Honorable Acarous. Great. Honorable, great. I don't know. It's after 11 your time, so maybe you should take a few more questions, and then we'll let you go because you have to go to work tomorrow. But we still have a lot of people on the line here. So, Cecilia will keep you posted, but please allow to take a couple of more calls from other people. Let's go to caller 5474.
Hello, my name is Say Morris Brown, and I'm calling from Pennsylvania. All great. Thank you for being on the show. Hello?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
All right. I got a couple of things, but I'm going to shorten them a little bit, because due to time. And one of them I would like to talk about would be the issues surrounding Amara Kone. Amara Kone has been the Minister of Finance and Planning at the same time. And we know that there was an act of legislation that, established planning and finance. And if for any reason we need to merge both of them, it has to also go through an act of legislation. So what is the House of Representatives doing when thousands of people with masters and PhD in Liberia that one job, that qualify to do the job, cannot get a job, and Amara alone, heading two of those key, ministries. And another thing, I will just quickly through that, I cut them down anyway. On Acarous Gray, I don't think you actually remember me in person. You're a friend of mine on Facebook, and I know you in person. And in fact, your mom works in my program, and we're talking about you one other time, and I was just telling her a little bit. And I admire you a whole lot, but of recent time, to be quite frank with you, I'm not quite impressed with the manner in which, I'm hearing some things concerning you, especially the last incident that the lady just spoke about. And this is not the first time I have read or I have heard that you were asked to leave section. And I've also seen pictures depicting you wearing, army clothes in section or even anywhere. I don't think that, shows to the younger ones, that we are ahead of. It doesn't come out well, for a lack of a better word, to phrase it. So the first thing I want to say, why are you constantly being asked to leave section? Because I think if I can report, this is the second time. And if CDC is next in line, after this term that's ailing in 2017, if Ellen is next, if CDC is next in term, next in line, and you looking at your role within CDC, what are you doing to kind of ease the tension a little bit, to kind of show to us out here that you guys are ready to lead the nation in the right, you guys are ready to lead the nation. What are you guys doing? What are you doing to work on that? Because I'm not impressed about the way, too many noise been surrounding you. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't, the last thing I'm just going to throw, and then you can go there. The word full, but I call it down. All right. The last thing, we have a budget shortfall that you just talked about. Why is it that you guys pass a law or you guys pass a bill that gives each political party certain amount of money to run it? Why should we be giving a political party money when even in America here that we don't give political party money to run their party? When people are living in Liberia, and I was just there 4 weeks ago, I tried to get in touch with you, but I couldn't. Okay, when people are living there in poverty and they can't even get food to eat, why should we be giving political party money? So those are the three things, that I would like for you to speak on. And if I catch anything that make you, that you disqualify, I am very, sorry about that. But I just wanted to make sure that you come up and clarify these things.
Thank you, caller.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. These are issues, and you need not to issue an apology. You don't have to be sorry about that. As a public servant, my duty is to ensure that we accept criticism. So I do not frown on criticism. Myself, I criticize a lot of persons. On the issue of merging the two ministries, we asked the president to appoint a planning minister. Told the president appointed a deputy, but wanted a minister there. And the issue of appointment is the prerogative of the President of the Republic of Liberia by our laws. And I can't speak for the President of the Republic of Liberia on that. Probably the press secretary could speak to that. But the issue of creating a new ministry, the IKE is in committee room. The bill is in committee room. Fortunately, my committee is one of those committees. We have joint committees on that. We are studying that bill and looking at it carefully. So I cannot speak much on that. You are in error to say that you think this is my second time, or many a time I've been asked to leave session. It's unfortunate. I've never been asked to leave session or join other session except of the recent incident. So for you to say that usually it happens at session is unfortunate. But you should understand, I just explained why I had to leave session, and I explained our rules to you. Okay. The name Acarous Gray is a news-making name, and you are fully cognizant about that. If you wrote a story on me of such, the papers will be sold in Monrovia. You know about that. On the internet, you people will debate the issues. Okay, I'm fully aware of that, and I know about that. So the presiding officer himself, who presided over the body that day, in the 50 seconds, because he was re-elected, he was asked all of session on 2 different occasions. I guess you never read about that. I guess you never heard about that. It's not only Acarous Gray that have been asked to leave session. You see, did Acarous Gray leave session or asked to leave session on the basis of violating the rules? I read the rules to you, Rule 7. The House of Representatives, we have our own rules. The Constitution provides for that. I read Rule 7. I was in no violation. I just thought, and I said to the presiding officer that it was not justice. If someone committed the same offense, the person should be punished for the same crime. That was my argument. Okay? And I'm not going to sit in the legislature and pretend that when these debates are ongoing, I'm left out of the debate. No, I'm not going to pretend about that. Okay? So, as far as I'm concerned, it shows maybe the biased nature of the presiding officer. And I said that. I'm on record for saying that the presiding officer was biased. It shows that. Do you think that the opposition background from whence I come, it will not be an easy ride for Acarous Gray in government? We are 10 out of 73. 10 from the Congress for Democratic Change. So on the issue of the political party support, and you are again in error to say that political parties in America, especially the two major parties, are not being sponsored. No, political parties in America are sponsored a certain percentage. You are fully aware of that. You have to be at your own acquiescence. Read about political parties in the United States of America. So don't make that comparison. I think the question should be why political parties should be sponsored in Liberia. This has the strongest international support around the world now. I'm a member. I represent the Republic of Liberia, all of the West African countries. We have 5 countries. All the West African countries met, political institutions met in Burkina, in Ivory Coast, and in Ghana. We have 3 different conferences, and we are establishing what they call the Forum for the Establishment of West African Political Parties. I've been the figure who have been representing Liberia 4 other parties in 4 different countries, because all of the countries cannot be on the steering committee. The issue of sponsoring political parties to create a competitive system, not just sponsoring political parties with taxpayer money, no, but sponsoring primaries and conventions to create an internal competitive system within political parties, so that the individual with the biggest money cannot become probably the lawmaker on the party ticket, so that the individual with the biggest money cannot become the standard bearer of the political institution. That's one of the cardinals, so that our resources cannot be committed to multilateral organizations because they sponsor our political party to achieve victory. You talk about the resources of our country, see the way the resources of our country have been bastardized. Because many a time during the period of campaign processes in underdeveloped countries, political institutions may be sponsored, and let me be very selective, may be sponsored by some of these multilateral organizations or companies around the world, and they come to these underdeveloped countries and exploit your resources because you committed yourself to them. So to sponsor a political party, we are not saying sponsor all of the political parties or give state resources to all of the political parties. We are not saying that. What we are saying is that to set a benchmark of 10%, if you accrue 10% in the presidential election, then you can be qualified on the basis of percentage. Since 1985, we've not had more than 3 to 4 parties in Liberia that have crossed 10%. Some political parties, I'm sorry to say, are only established because maybe the standard bearer want to be minister. Some maybe because they want legislative seat. Those are the advantages and disadvantages of multi-party democracy in our country. Should we create a competitive democratization process in our country, out of having a 2 or 3 competitive party system like in Ghana, like in the United States of America, where there will be stronger competition? I believe so. I'm convicted, and we are also convinced. And mind you, political party members are also taxpayers. Nobody going to abuse taxpayer money to say put the money in the hands of the political party like that. No, you will be subjected to auditing by the General Auditing Committee Commission of the Republic of Liberia. You will be subjected. You have to account. These are critical issues. So the bill itself will have to be explained. Probably you have not gotten the concept of the bill itself. And in the current budget, I want to be very clear. In the current budget, there is not a dime in the current budget for political party support. There's not a dime. There are priority areas, and I agree with you. There are many priority areas, major areas in our country. Take, for example, the issue of health. There's huge amount of money in the budget for health. There's huge amount of money in the budget for education, for infrastructure development into our country. So even if we spoke of political party support, among all of the priorities in the Republic of Liberia in terms of the budget that is presented to us, the proposed budget, there's not a dime in our budget for sustaining political institutions in our country. And the bill is not called Political Party Support Bill, but the bill is called the Democracy Sustainability Act. And I hope you can get a copy of that act, read the act, and understand the importance of the act. In Burkina Faso, there are over 53 political parties. All of those parties are being sponsored to some percentage by state funding. In Ghana, and the reason you say in Liberia, political institutions cannot get funding out of Liberia. Now, foreign partners. Our constitution says no to that. But Ghana, yes. political institutions are sponsored by some organizations all over Ghana? Definitely. Even Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast sponsor political candidates to go to election. Not 100%, but to a percentage. So in Liberia, we are not saying sponsor political parties 60% or 50%. We are saying the money should be targeted towards either the primaries, towards the convention, towards the sumo running. We are not saying people should not pay their dues to political institutions. And again, you are in error when you say in the United States of America, political party cannot get state funding. I think you have to make that research. And let me conclude on this note to you by stating to you that this is my first time being asked to lead session. My very first time. I've never been asked to lead session. Even the presiding officer who asked me to lead session, I've been shown all of session on 2 separate occasions in the 52nd legislature. Nobody wrote about that. But I can understand the name Acarous Gray is politically consumptuous. So anybody will want to get a piece of it by reading on it. So I can understand that.
Thank you, Honorable Gray. Honorable Gray, we're going to just take 3 more questions because we have about 286.
Oh, definitely. I almost said 3 more questions because I have to go to work.
Yeah, Honorable has to go to work. So if we don't take your call, please forgive us. Honorable, the next one is going to come from 6727.
Yeah, Honorable Gray, how are you?
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, this is Aaron Kennedy. Thank you for representing Buzokola also. I used to live in Buzokola. I grew up there. I used to play football with one of your, I think, is he your brother, Anthony Gray? I don't know whether is your brother. And I don't even know the rumor that breaking Buzokola down, how true that is. But my question here is, what is the findings of the Trump report that Ellen Sally assisted Prince Johnson in allowing people to win the election in Lima County? And number 2, have you guys resolved this election issue for 2017? Are you guys satisfied with it? That everything will be fine? That's my question.
Honorable Gray, let us Chuck there. He just came by the line. So will you just ask me your questions to me, please?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. He's with us now. Ask me your question.
Yeah, Honorable Gray. Yeah, my name is Aaron Kennedy, and I used to live in Buzokola, and I used to play ball at the BTC. I knew Anthony Gray. I don't know whether it was your brother. He used to play for IE. Against about 11. And the rumor of breaking Buzokola, I don't know how true that is. But my main question is, what is the finding of the report that Ellen Sally assisted Prince Johnson in allowing his people to win the election in Lima County? And number 2, have you guys resolved this election business, the election commissioner business, whether it is independent or whether you guys are satisfied that things will be fine during the 2017 election? Because if the electoral system is fair, it can bring about peace in the country. If it's not fair, it can't be fine. Like in America, we are satisfied with the electoral system, even though we're not 100%, but we hope that. Okay, that's my question.
Thank you, Cora.
Okay. I try to be very brief. The CDC issue an official position of its own disagreement on the current composition of the appointment made by the president when it comes to the issue of the commissioners at the National Elections Commission. You are fully cognizant of the fact that the current chairman of the Elections Commission just this ended national, presidential, and legislative election, participated. He ran on the ticket of the Unity Party in Bond County. He was defeated by a CDC lawmaker, the former Deputy Speaker Toba Moba. So the CDC said that especially someone coming out of a legislative election, and after 1 year, running on the ruling party ticket to be appointed by the president as the chairman, it doesn't show transparency. So the CDC has been very categorical in denouncing the appointment. And on the issue of Senator Johnson, for me, I feel vindicated by the fact that under my signature as Secretary General, we accuse the Elections Commission of not only being biased, but by compromising the true results of the elections. So you remember the president came to the United States of America and said that parents stole their children's voter registration cards. And that is a criminal offense under the laws of Liberia to deprive people of their right to vote. It's a constitutional breach to deprive any citizen who is qualified to vote of his or her right to vote. And the president did nothing to have those quote-unquote Michael Winnie arrested as somebody who should be enforcing the law. So again, I felt vindicated to show that people deprive people of the election. So that is not fairness in election. We say election should be free, fair, and transparent. Those are issues that we raise. And another thing, we also raised the issue of manipulating the election results. So Senator Johnson put himself in the runoff election, and he came up clearly to have stated that the results were being manipulated. And so I personally feel vindicated because under my signature, when we raised these issues, people said the CDC wanted to grab baby. So thank God that the stand-up of the United Party went to America and confirmed that there were irregularities in the election in terms of depriving people of their right to vote under the Constitution. And Senator Johnson came here again to confirm that he spoke to the president's sister to talk to the president so election results can be manipulated in favor of people and that she didn't win a free, fair, and transparent election. So you can see that these allegations under my signature are then proven by the very people that we accuse. So, but like I've said, those of us who believe in God, we understand that sometimes the enemy will confess. So a lot of confession ongoing, and I hope this confession will form part of healing the wounds in Liberia. So, but the CDC position on the composition is just negative, very much negative.
Thank you, Honorable Gray. Honorable Gray, we then take the next one. The next one will come from caller 2879. Please make it brief. We have other people on the line. We want to take two more here after.
All right. Hello, Honorable Gray. This is Julius Banto calling from Providence, Rhode Island.
Mr. Banto, how are you?
I'm fine, Honorable. All right. Thank you very much for your deliberations. Listening to them. And I'm proud of you. As I said, you are one of the funniest species that our party, the CDC, ever have. And we're going to pray with you. We're going to stand by you in your political sojourn. But what I want to get clear is that what is the largest opposition political party, the CDC in Liberia, is doing to ensure free, fair, and transparent election in our country. Because it is unfortunate. It started since 2005 after the peace conference, after the transitional government. We have been going into elections, and we feel disenfranchised. We feel cheated. And as you rightly said, they are proving today. So beyond that bound, what is the ruling, the opposition party doing in consultation with other international organizations that knows about transparency in election? What are we doing to ensure that, yes, indeed, we have a credible and a transparent and fair election in Liberia? What are we doing? Thank you.
It's a very tough question to answer because the reason why I say tough, it sounds figurative, but because I do not run the day-to-day affairs of the Congress of Democratic Change. And there is a new leadership of the CDC. And I hope that one day you have the chairman or the secretary general of the Congress of Democratic Change. But as a lawmaker, what I know is that there's this massive debate of constitutional reform and also the issue of electoral reform in terms of our laws. So I believe that if these reforms occurred, I will move a long way in our country's history. We have to speak out as a political institution on those disagreements that we have, that we've always been doing, because it's very important. It's very, very important for the peace and security of our country. Mm-hmm. So our partners are here, international partners are here. The citizen leadership can handle that better, and I won't dare to go in depth into saying what the city is doing, because I'm not on behalf of the Congress of Democrats. I hope you have the Secretary General or the party chairman to speak on that.
Thank you, Honorable Gray. Honorable Gray, we're going to take this. It's going to be the last one because you need to go to work tomorrow. This caller is going to be 0882. Caller, your last number is 0882.
Hello, Honorable Gray. My name is Andrew Gusset.
Yeah, how are you?
Very well. I am thankful to you for the way you have handled yourself. I have reason to believe that your head is in the right place. And if circumstances don't change you, I think the people of District 8 that made the right choice. Here's my question to you. My question is that I see in the phase of money, power, and influence of the Unity Party, the CDC seems to have the only people's power that can counter the kind of influence, money, and power that the Unity Party has. But observing from the last two elections where CDC took part, and my own effort here to contact people here, in the United States, to contact people of power, it seems like people who make people and the people who make president in Liberia don't seem to be ready for the CDC. Maybe people viewed you, I don't mean you as Acarous Gray, but I mean you, the CDC, as a whole bunch of political activists who have not graduated to the level where the international community and kingmakers will accept kindly. What is it that you're doing to try to influence and change that kind of frame of mind? Because if Liberians should be hopeful that our democratic system will work, it's going to take a political party with the kind of people party that the CDC has.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let me say to you, and we have to be very clear about this, that my Congress of Democratic Change, the CDC, and there's massive propaganda against the Congress of Democratic Change, or there has been massive propaganda, unrealistic, massive propaganda against the CDC on the issue of perception. And the CDC has been doing splendidly well on the basis of trying to get rid of some of these perceptions. And today, Ambassador Weird is the head of the Committee on Reconciliation in Liberia. So that position, in my belief, puts the leadership of the CDC in a stronger position to have conversation with many persons across political party line and even people within a stronger position in the cycle of government, whether in the West or in Africa. And the leadership of the party has been doing very, very well. They've been selling the CDC manifesto, the CDC ideas, the CDC platform to the diplomatic community in Liberia. In fact, we were fortunate as CDC lawmakers to have some interaction with U.S. congressmen. You remember I made a representation of the legislature in the United States of America. We tried to change the perception. And we managed to have had a domestic meeting with a group of parliamentarians around the world. And we have frank exchange of ideas, major decision makers. In fact, I chaired that meeting. The chairman of the CDC was absent. So we provided to them the alternative that the Congress for Democratic Change has, and many of them bought the idea. So I agree with you that the West and the massive PR against the Congress for Democratic Change, and I think that's one of the reasons the CDC tried to change strategy by probably inviting Ambassador Winston Tubman to bring to the table maybe the same international experience that President said he had more than her. So all of this strategy, the CDC had been into a series of strategy sessions. But again, like I said, I do not speak for my party anymore, and I don't want to pretend to say that I will speak for the Congress for Democratic Change. And these things happen. You know, the progressive also in Liberia were being blended as troublemakers, and President Sali was a member of the progressive. And it took many years for President Sali to take state power in Senegal. It took Abdullah over 30 years. It also took Vincent Fox, I think, in Mexico or whatsoever, many years to get to state power. It took Laurent Gbagbo uncountable years. It took President Sali probably over 20 or 30 years to get the power. So the struggle, the CDC struggle is not a struggle for today. The CDC struggle is a gradual struggle. It will be a struggle of pain, in my belief. It will be a struggle where sometimes people will give up in the process. Some people will surrender to the power that be, like you said, because of money and wealth. It will be a struggle where people will be called terrorists. I remember Nelson Mandela was placed behind bars, and Nelson Mandela was blended by the West as a terrorist, including the ANC. For those 27 years that Mandela was in jail for, you read history around the world, people get away with blending people, castigating people or calling their names. So the Congress for Democratic Change is proud to be a party of the masses. And when the masses speak, even the international world will have to listen to the masses. So, but the party they are doing well. They are doing extremely well. So these are our politics. So if Mandela can be called a terrorist, the great Nelson Mandela can be called terrorist by the West. What about the Congress for Democratic Change? All that we have to do is to disprove all of these negatives that have been written against the Congress for Democratic Change. Like I said to someone, not everything that is written in the newspapers in Liberia are factual. And usually I speak to the people at the United Nations headquarters in Liberia. Usually they come to us to get the facts, because when they see stories on you, they got to come to you. Even many of them try to disbelieve some of the writings in the papers now, because sometimes you don't get the other side of the story. Sometimes people exaggerate, people blow things out of proportion. You remember during the 2011 elections, people were running propaganda in the media that the Congress for Democratic Change had guns. We were keeping ammunition at our homes. It even provoked the situation for the police to have gone onto the grounds of the CDC and shoot innocent civilians on the grounds of the Congress for Democratic Change. Nobody shot at the police, or the then police director misinformed the public that people shot from the compounds of the CDC, so the police had to move in. At the end of the day, he had to lose his job. So I can understand. We just have to be strong. The CDC has to be strong. The CDC is the voice of the masses. So I thank God that today we are representatives that the CDC can make us. Our duty as a function is to sell out the political manifesto of the CDC when we meet these international partners. And we've been doing well in that direction, especially some of the stands we've taken. Our partners are very convinced that the CDC has a lot of good people in the Congress for Democratic Change, like the bills we've been submitting. International partners are very concerned about those bills, and they are excited about many of the bills, like the anti-nepotistic bill, the issue of the establishment of a national maternity center, the debate about a code of conduct. These are bills that have strong international support for coming to the aid of the Republic of Liberia. So let me encourage you, encourage many Liberians in the diaspora, that in any political undertaking, the battle will be an uphill battle. It will not be a battle won in one day time. It will be a battle won for the masses. It will be a battle for the redemption of the Liberian state. So I'm convicted that the CDC is the right institution to be with. That's why I've been consistent as the Northern Star with the Mali commercial democratic change.
Honorable Acarous, great. We don't want to let you go without welcoming the Honorable Axel Tupal, CDC National Chairman, USA. Honorable Tupal, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just want to say hi to my brother Acarous. I was occupied, so I could not come on the call earlier. But Acarous, thank you for your presence here, and hopefully whatever you have espoused today will be enlightenment for folks who are seeking the information and knowledge that you possess. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Honorable Great. Honorable Tupal. Honorable Great, we know that it's late to your time, so we'll probably give you an invitation again in the coming days, a month, to test some of the issues that are dear to your heart. On that note, we would like for you to give us your closing argument today.
Thank you very much. And let me say thank you very much to the Liberal Destiny debaters. I think this is a program of enlightenment where people all around the world listen to Liberians in the diaspora to get a different picture from an opposition standpoint on the governance process of our country. And your first caller, let me again state to the first caller, I think one quote house that call. There's no intention, absolutely no intention, for anybody in the Congressional Democratic change to harm you or undermine you in any manner or fashion. Personally, I've not been in that business of terrorizing anyone because I don't have the capacity to do so. I've never been involved into warfare. And your right to speak on critical issues, your civil liberty, will be protected by the government of the Republic of Liberia. It's not the CDC that protect your rights in Liberia. No. We have law and order. We have state security forces that should maintain law and order. That's the responsibility of state security forces. That's where taxpayer money are being spent also. So again, I want to say to you, there's no intention, absolutely no intention. Welcome your criticism, criticize the CDC, criticize the leadership of the CDC, criticize Liberians. You said the CDC will never take power. I just laugh about it. That's a right to state so. Nathan Terjes said, who works for President Sali today as secretary, that if President Sali becomes president of the Republic of Liberia, hair should grow in his palm. I hope another hair will not grow in your palm by 2017 elections when the CDC take power. I hope hair will not grow in your palm. And I hope you come to Liberia, you will not go to the mountain like Dr. Boyman family, who went to the mountain all of those years while Mr. Taylor was president and failed to come and speak truth to power. But again, to all of those under my voice today, I say thank you very much. I will be very open and waiting to come on this program, whether personal questions or public questions, to try to demystify some of the myths. So let me say thank you very much to the organizers of this program and to all of you all in my voice and to friends and family members and even those who opposed me who came on this program. I say thank you very much, and I think that's how we should run Liberia. Let us work together. No matter what the case, we have indifference religiously, politically, ethnically, but let us not allow our country to degenerate into chaos. Let us debate the issue, and let us push Liberia forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, this weekend on the program note, next week, we're going to bring back dual citizenship with panelists, the individuals, the lawyers, economists, and individuals in international border security. That's national security will be on panel next week. And then on Sunday, that's Saturday, and on Sunday, we're going to have Solomon George calling us from Liberia. We'll be serving us as our guest on Sunday. So, ladies and gentlemen, those who it was unfortunate that we did not take all of the callers because we have about 306 callers tonight. So we apologize that we were unable to take all of you. And to our honorable guest tonight, the Honorable Acarous Great, we say thank you very much for accepting our invitation, and we wish you good luck in the struggle for the people. Good night to you all.
Thank you very much.